We all know someone who seems to possess an almost supernatural read on the people around them. They can sit completely still in a crowded room, effortlessly anticipating needs before a word is spoken, and remaining perfectly calm when everything goes wrong. We tend to assume people like this are simply born with a high emotional IQ, or that they've spent years intentionally meditating to achieve that kind of serene presence. But developmental psychology points to a different origin. These highly perceptive individuals rarely developed their abilities in peaceful environments. They learned them out of necessity, often while navigating volatile or unpredictable childhoods. When standard linear processing is too slow to ensure safety, the brain effectively rewrites its own survival software. It builds a dense web of threat detection pathways, a biological adaptation psychologists are identifying as traumatic intelligence. Trauma leaves profound scars, but it also acts as a relentless sharpener of human cognition. The behaviors society frequently dismisses as personality flaws are in reality highly sophisticated survival adaptations. Take the label of being too sensitive. These individuals are frequently told they are overreacting or reading entirely too much into subtle social cues. This intense perceptiveness is a measurable biological response known as hyperempathy. It has nothing to do with poor emotional boundaries or mystical intuition. When a child grows up in unpredictable environments, the brain enters hyperdrive. The amygdala and prefrontal cortex become permanently sensitized, acting as a continuous background scanner. Subtle signals, microexpressions, vocal changes are instantly sorted into recognizable patterns to calculate threats or predict moods in real time. Feeling the intense emotional weight of a room is an ancient radar system. It was originally engineered to track the volatile moods of unpredictable caregivers, ensuring the child could stay one step ahead of danger. Then there is the tendency to compulsively overthink, combined with a strange, almost eerie emotional detachment when a crisis actually hits. Clinicians refer to this phenomenon as stress inoculation. Early, continuous exposure to adversity shifts the baseline of the human nervous system. We can see this in a model of the human stress response. For a standard nervous system, an unexpected anomaly causes the baseline to spike immediately into panic, but a stress-inoculated system remains flat, absorbing the shock without a severe physiological reaction. Because chaos was their developmental baseline, a high-stakes emergency doesn't trigger the freeze response. They view an overwhelming, dangerous situation as a logical puzzle that simply needs to be managed. Remaining detached during a crisis is a calibrated survival mechanism. It allows the brain to assess variables and execute solutions while others panic. A third trait frequently criticized by society is extreme self-reliance, a persistent aloofness often misdiagnosed as having severe trust issues. In psychology, this is known as adaptive skepticism. When relying on adults during childhood proved to be consistently unsafe, the developing brain learned that absolute independence was the only reliable option. Think of this skepticism as a high-threshold filtration system. The brain automatically repels incoming signals of safety that lack verifiable proof. But once an individual consistently proves their safety and passes the filter, the connection instantly solidifies into an unshakable tether. A high barrier to entry serves a vital long-term function. It is a security protocol guaranteeing that when trust is finally granted, the foundation of the relationship is completely authentic. Running a highly sensitized emotional radar 24 hours a day requires an immense, continuous cognitive load. Absorbing that sheer volume of data, tracking microexpressions, feeling unspoken tensions, leaves these individuals highly susceptible to invisible emotional exhaustion. This hypervigilance remains an active, deliberate state of the nervous system, a permanent optimization that prioritizes awareness over rest. Instantly reading a room, detaching during chaos, aggressively filtering untrustworthy signals, proves the brain's tireless capacity to protect itself and optimize for survival against staggering odds. Recognizing traumatic intelligence requires looking past the surface of survival. It reveals a specific set of cognitive tools, extreme pattern recognition, and high-stakes clarity, built by a mind that refused to be overwhelmed.